their distorted view of Islam is that it should be above all other religions. They're just attacking us first because we happen to be local, but they're going after you as well. And we're on the front line of this battle, which is why we're fighting for humanity here in Israel. The last question from Celia from TV2 Norway is, in what way will this change the trajectory of ceasefire negotiations, presuming they continue at all? We are committed to these negotiations, Celia. We've made that absolutely clear. The Prime Minister has made that absolutely clear. We know that with Hamas, it's only through harsh military pressure that they released the first group of hostages, half of the hostages who we managed to get out. It's only through harsh military pressure that we've managed to get this far. It's one of our war aims to get our people out, and that's exactly what we'll do. We want this deal to succeed. Next question is from Fred Ager. It's a rather long question. You've got two rather long questions, Fred. Thank you very much. Okay, following the elimination of Ismail Haniyeh, Hamas official Sami Abu Zuri stated that Hamas is an institution, not a person, and will continue its path to liberate Jerusalem, regardless of its sacrifices. Iranian President Pezeshkian pledged to defend its territorial integrity and make terrorist occupiers regret their actions. Hamas's Mahmoud Abbas, okay, that's not right, urged for unity, patience, and firm resistance against Israeli occupation. What is the Israel's Prime Minister Office response to these statements? Thank you for that question, Fred. So we're not commenting on that incident. So I've spoken about Hamas quite clearly as well in this briefing, and our attitude towards Hamas. I've also spoken about Iran. Hamas are a proxy of Iran, as are Hezbollah, as are the Houthis, as are the Shia militias in Iraq, as are the attacks we've had from the Red Sea, as are any other of the seven fronts. They're an Iranian proxy, seven fronts we're fighting this war, and I've made comments about all of those fronts. Next question from Fred Ager is, Hostage Families Forum issued a statement lauding the military accomplishments of the IDF in the killing of the top Hezbollah leaders in Beirut and after other activities over the last two nights, but says any true achievement can only be realized with the release of all 115 hostages in captivity. What's the Prime Minister's response to the Hostage Families Forum statement? Thank you for that question, Fred. Look, we've made our war aims completely clear. They are, of course, to get our 115 hostages back. It's obscene. It's crime against humanity every single moment for almost, tomorrow it'll be 300 days. It's unimaginable, the torture of these poor people. Our war aims are to bring them back, to destroy Hamas military and its governing capabilities, and of course to make sure that Gaza can never pose a threat to this country ever again. Next question from David Clement. Can you comment on the importance of the death of Ismail Haniyeh? Thank you for that question, David. We're not commenting on that incident. Thank you. Next question is from Jim Williams, Zenga International News Service, Washington, D.C. Good afternoon, David. In the last 12 hours, President Biden, Vice President Harris, and Secretary of State, or Secretary of Defense Austin, issued statements affirming the continued support for Israel to defend ourselves against the possibility of retaliatory attacks from Iran. Has the Prime Minister spoken to President Biden about a possible attack from Iran? Thank you for that question, Jim. Let me just say it this way. We are in regular contact with our allies. The US, it's our closest ally in the world. We share values, of course. We also share enemies. Iran is a mortal enemy of the US. Just yesterday, in the last few days, in the inauguration of the new Iranian president, they shouted death to Israel and death to America. So we're in very regular contact at every level of our government Minister Gallant, if you see the comments from the IDF and our Defence Minister himself has been in contact with Secretary of State Austin. That's been in the last day or so, in the last 24 hours. So we're in extremely regular contact with our American allies. Next question from here is from Avi Wolf from JFeed. Will the Prime Minister issue a statement regarding the strike in Beirut and the assassination of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh this morning? Thank you for that. We have spoken quite extensively already on this briefing. We've spoken extensively a briefing about the Hezbollah number 2, which we eliminated last night. Let me tell you, I visited the site of this gruesome attack on these children playing football, soccer. It is the most appalling thing that you could possibly imagine to see. The sight of these grieving families. They're not Jewish, they're Druze, okay, but they're proud Israeli citizens, and the mayor of the town made that absolutely clear. They are proud Israelis, they're Israeli citizens. They, the terrible thing which has happened to them just on Saturday, it's absolutely heartbreaking, but we stand together with our Druze allies. We are one and the same Israeli people, and there's been a steady stream of Israeli ministers and visitors who have gone right up to Majd al-Shams, where I visited yesterday with 50 other journalists. So we have spoken about that issue. We're not giving any comment on the other Hamas issue, which you... Next question from Hannah Julian at the Jewish Press. Does the government expect Iran to respond to the assassinations of Shukr and Haniyeh with another direct attack on Israel? Hannah, I think I answered this question just a little bit earlier in the briefing. We are on a high alert from the 7 fronts which we're facing Iran with. We're on extremely high alert. We know that this is a genocidal, murderous, fascist state which persecutes its own people. I think it's important always to make the point that we're not talking about the Iranian people who are victims of the Iranian regime. We're talking about this Iranian regime. I'll remind you that the Iranian president, in his opening days of his taking office, he said one fascinating thing. He said, Iran wants to have peace with every nation in the world except for Israel. You know, they've made very, very clear, Iran, that they wish to wipe us off the face of the map. Experience has taught the Jewish people that when someone says that they wish to destroy the Jewish people, we should take them seriously. And we do take them seriously. So we understand the threat from Iran. We're facing it down every day. We're facing their proxies every day. And this country will be defended. Okay, I think that's the last question. That's the last question, right? Okay, so in the meantime, thank you very much for joining us. We have these briefings every day, Monday to Thursday at the same time. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. In the meantime, we are available for interviews as well for your news outlets, and we thank